Hi all. So in this video we're just going to jump in and basically want to explore having enemy come onto the map using waypoints, waypoint paths, that sort of thing. So where this is currently at, it's just triggers there to allow the player to bring some units onto the map. So it's going to start by putting some enemy units on the map. So I'm pretty sure all my guys down here are Germans. Yep. We'll put some Russians down here. Okay, so we'll make them player 1 because the player is in F3 and F9. The player is player O, so these are going to be the enemy. Player 1. We will tag them as hidden. And we'll call them enemy squad 01. Why not? Okay. Now, some waypoints down here. So I'm going to actually add command to the waypoint. I'm going to use actor state. This will trigger whoever arrives at the waypoint. And this will work when we use our actor to waypoint as well. This will fire. You can check that too when it happens. So we'll put them on. Well, we'll play with some speed. We'll do assault speed. I'm just going to Control C, copy of it. I'm unselecting it because if I selected it would join them. So that's going to have my all got the command on it because I've simply copied them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So read them out. These will be the starting points the enemy can spawn from. Spread them out reasonably evenly. Give a bit of variety of where the enemy will come in from. Okay. As I understand it, when you're using waypoint paths and using actor to waypoint, basically enemies walking along or any units following a waypoint path using the actor to waypoint command, they will keep following the path until they spot or come across an enemy. And then what will happen is they'll engage that enemy, take cover, fight, whatever. And after a certain amount of time, if there's no enemy around or they can't see them, they'll return to following the path. So, based on that, also I believe how far they move away from the path when they are engaging enemy and stuff is dependent on their move mode and stuff, whether they're in hold, position, zone, or free. So we'll experiment with this. So near the middle, we might make this actor state here. In the middle, we'll make it hold. Same with this one. Make that hold. So theoretically, they shouldn't vary too far from the path we lay out for them. Just putting a couple of points here so we can test this theory. A bit of variety in the... So you can, just by selecting one waypoint, holding shift, grabbing another, and then click link. So you can link paths all over the place if you really want. Saves you putting down too many. Okay. So we've changed both of those two to hold. We'll make this one zone, and when you do zone, you add a move radius. So I'm going to put in there, let's see, 30. You might wonder how big's 30. How can we tell how big 30 is going to be? The easiest way to measure distance I've found is to grab one of the zones, add a new circle. I'm going to put in a radius of 30. I just named it then 30, and now I've got to edit the radius there. So theoretically, that's how far they should move off the path and engage enemy. They shouldn't wander any further than that away from the path. Okay. Get rid of that. And on the outside waypoints, make these, we might put a zone here and make it 50. Same with this one. Okay, I've got one extra here. Let's do away with one. Instead of making it 50, we'll make it 3. So the ones right on the outside will be free movement. So they should be able to move as far as they choose to before returning back to their path once they lose an enemy. So I've skipped ahead and just made a network of spider web of waypoints there, all interlinked. Also added a second enemy squad 02. Okay, so now what I want to do is basically write a trigger that's going to control units spawning at those waypoints and moving across the map. So within that trigger, I also want to describe and determine how many units can be on how many enemy units can be on the map at any one time. I also want to give the enemy a set number of reinforcements that they'll have available, that once it runs out, they'll have run out of reinforcements. Okay. I'm going to start by adding a couple of variables. So in F3 and then F9, down here to vars. There. I'm just going to right click and add. So I'm going to call one enemy reinforcements. Need a spell check on here. And add another one. Enemy limit. Okay. Now I'm going to add a trigger here and just split. Enemy. Infantry. Mission. Mission start. Okay, here in this one, we'll fire as soon as the mission goes. So no conditions here. It's going to add a 2-second delay. Then under generic, set I. Here I'm going to set the enemy reinforcements equal, say, 200. That enemy limit set to 20 to begin with. That just gives both them variables value at the mission start. Okay. Infantry. Infantry spawning, I'm going to call this next trigger. And here I'm going to add a condition. So here we're going to put enemy reinforcements has to be greater than 0. And other one, let's see, entities. Advanced, group, select. No, we'll actually go include. Include 1, we'll drop human, include the state head, active, also exclude the state link, so just in case vehicles are in here at any point. I'm going to count the one vehicles. So count has to be less than the enemy limit. Okay. By 1 human. Yep. Okay. As long as those two conditions are met, this should trigger. Add short delay there. Put 5 seconds. In here, I'm going to add generic. I'm going to add a switch. Then I'm going to add a case to that. Click on that. The type will be DMP_I. I'm going to get enemy reinforcements. I'm going to say less than or equal to 50. So the first case is going to be when the enemy reinforcements drop below 50. 50 left, I'm going to make those. Add inside here an entity state. And will be advanced, group, include player 1, include state, inactive, include drop human, select tag of squad 2. So these are the tougher guys. I want them to be the ones who spawn in as the numbers get lower. It'll make sense in a minute. Okay, so yep. I'm going to add a tag here as call them enemy squad. That. I'm going to add, copy that case. This is going to go when it's under 125. Now here, go this squad again, but instead I'm going to limit the amount to 5. And that, copy that. That squad 1. So it's going to be 5 from each squad this time. This, so when it's let's see, above 125 or so. The way this works is it reads from the top, so whichever one it meets first, it does that and ignores the rest. So the one that's going to fire straight off the bat is going to be this one, because it starts off at 200. And we're going to make that enemy squad 1. Okay, and then a delay. Now I'm going to add another switch. Now, got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different waypoints here. I want it to randomly select one to spawn the map. So I'm going to set up a way to do that. Basically, I'm going to go to my map. I'm going to select sticks trees. 2, 3, 4, 6. I'm going to give them a tag. Going to abbreviate enemy infantry waypoint. Enemy infantry waypoint, I'm going to call that. Okay, add that. Then each one of those points are 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Just for sake of easy reference, I'm going to in one of them 3. 1, 5. Roll T to bring that up each time. 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. That. Back to my trigger. Okay, my switch. Before I get into my switch, I will want to add an entity state. So I'm going to go advanced group. This time the tag will be the enemy infantry waypoint. Going to select one of them. So I want one of them trees that I've tagged. Going to call it current EIWP, enemy infantry waypoint. Okay, so I'm going to move that up there, put a delay behind it. It's going to select one of them trees and tag it. Then in my switch, go case, okay. If, see, it's going to be an entity. There you are, entities. Advanced group. Select the tag. What did we name it? Here will be this one. Control C to copy that. So that tag, the current enemy infantry waypoint. Tag 3. So, if when it tagged one of these, which it's going to do randomly, here we just want to do something here. I want to exclude tag used. I'm going to add that in there because I'm going to tag it as used so that next time it selects one, we ignore that one. It'll make sense. Okay, so basically if it picks number 3, we're going to go add inside other, back to the waypoint. Now, the selector is going to be one here, enemy squad. Enemy squad at waypoint 3, clone, approach, take, teleport, and rotate. Copy that. Now, if this time it's number 5, be at waypoint 5. Copy. We had waypoint 6. Copy. 7. 8. Copy and 9. We'll add a delay at the end of that. Then we will go add entity state. Now the entity state I want current API. This is where I'm going to add the tag used. I'm going to remove current. So that one we singled out is going to have that removed and it's going to be tagged as used. I'm going to add another delay in there. We're also going to have to remove this current squad tag from the current squad. Copy that entity state there. Not tagging these guys anything. So we've removed. We tagged which squad, who the squad members were and which point they were going to be spawned at, and we're removing those tags now. So what's happening is each time trigger fires, it tags one of these trees with the use tag. So we're going to track that and take care of it. So I'm going to add another switch. I've tried this with an if statement, but for some reason the if statement seems to doesn't seem to work properly in here. So I'm going to instead do a switch. I'm going to put a case here. I'm going to use entities, advanced group, select the enemy infantry waypoint, which is what we've tagged the trees with. We're going to exclude the tag used and I'm going to say equals 0. So if all the trees have been tagged used, in other words, including that tag, there's going to be none of them left, this will fire. In there, going to add entity state, trees, and we're simply going to remove the use tag, which will reset them. We've got that as a case, and we'll just put the default in there. So if the opposite of the case, the default will happen, which we're going to put nothing in there. So I'm going to leave that there. Another short delay, then final switch. Oh, but before I do that, in each of up here, when we choose our guys, okay, so we want to track our enemy reinforcements. We started off with 200, so in this first case, I want to add stat I, the enemy reinforcements. So in the first one, we're picking squad 2 here, which has 10 guys in it. So I'm going to say the enemy reinforcement minus 10. So we're using up 10 guys there. In this second one, we're taking 5 from each team. So minus 10 again. And I think squad here is only 9. Yep, 9 humans. So in here, we're going to only minus 9. Okay. So back down here, we're going to put a final switch in here. And this time, with this final switch, we're going to be tagging, not tagging, we're going to be monitoring the entity limit. So, case, that's going to be entities, the advanced group, include props, human, include layer 1, excluding the state dead, include the state inactive. Okay, so first case will be if it's greater than or equal to the enemy limit. So if we've got the enemy limit on the map, we're going to add inside there a delay of, say, 2 minutes, 120 seconds. And at the end of that delay, reset the trigger. Infantry spawning. Okay. I'm going to copy that case. So if we are less than enemy limit, that delay is only going to be 10 seconds. Save that. Let's give it a quick test. So we should get guys spawn in 10 seconds. One of our trees should be tagged used. There's one. Speed this up so we can monitor it. Okay, 10 seconds should pass. There goes the next lot at a different point. 2 trees tagged used. Third lot's come in. Yep. We've probably reached our... Now if I press... Slow that down for a second. If I press F3, then F8. Good. Okay, so this number's going down because we're removing them there. So our reinforcement started at 200, but it's gone down. 173. By hovering on here, we can see that condition 1 is being met, but shown by the 1. Condition 2 goes to 0, which means it's false. Okay, so it seems to be working as expected. Finish. Alright, something else we could do is we could add another trigger in here. Progress. Slash. Go 30. So basically what's happening at the start, the enemy limit is equal to 20. What we're going to look at is the enemy reinforcements start at 200. We're going to look at when they get below, say, 150. We can change the enemy limit 20 to 30. That'll fire once only when met. Copy that. 40. And enemy limit 40. Change it from 150 to 125. Yeah, so as you kill more enemy, more will come on the map. 50. That 100. 50. 80. Take it down to 75. Less than 60. Starts off as 20 enemy on the map, so it's just going to increase. Save that. Also, the player's reinforcements have no value, they have no score that you pay for them. So we also start off with no score, so we could add in here the total score. Let's make it 2000. Score current at the beginning of the mission. Make it 500. Giggles, okay. So squad 1, let's put them in as they'll cost you 100 buy. Squad 2, make them 50. Squad 3, which I think only has 4 guys. That 75. These values can change. Save that now. Add a trigger in here that will basically give you points as you kill the enemy. So let's call it kill points. Okay, so addition's going to be entities, advanced, select group, include prop, human, to include the state not discovered, include the state dead. When there's a human dead, we're going to include player 1. And we're going to exclude any with the tag counted. Okay, so whenever there's a dead player 1 on the map, this trigger will fire. So we'll go entity state, advanced group. Going to the amount, we're only going to be counting 1 at a time. Going to include player 1, include the tag counted, include the state dead, going to exclude the state inactive. We should do here as well. Human dead, player 1, include the state active for this one. Include the prop human, sure that they match. Okay, so we're going to add the tag counted for one of them, and I'm going to go into other reinforcement, score add. So 10 points for killing 1 unit, 1 enemy. Add a delay. See that? So I'm going to have 1 at the start, 1 at the end. Yeah, we'll put it in there. Add trigger. Kill points. Mission. Save. Start. Oh, that cost me some money to bring them in. And we should start getting points as we shoot them. Got 175 points at the stage. He's unbeaten buggered already. Yeah, 185, so I got 10 points. He got tagged as counted. Someone else has been killed. So I'm getting the points there. You could also put a penalty that you lose points if you lose 5 points for when your guys are killed. You could write a similar trigger that takes points away. Yeah, that works. Brilliant. So what we could do here, we could copy this kill points. We'd call it, let's see, death penalty. And we could change this to IRO, untick ignore captured user. Go back in here, we could untick that. IRO, okay. And instead of getting 10 points, this will be our guys dead this time. Instead of score add, we will go, going to add -3. Time you lose a guy, you're going to lose 3 points. And set that to death penalty. And finally, to make it a little self-contained little mission all of its own, could add a win-lose. Oh, we'll do a win. Oh yeah, why not? Leave it that. Win-lose / win will be one of them. So, to win, we'd want to make sure, going advanced here, group, that player 1, include state dead, we'll include the state active, include the prop human, and it will equal 0. So when there's no enemy left, one of our conditions, all the other enemy are gone. Enemy reinforcements must be less than to 0. So because we're counting backwards in 9s and 10s, it could fall below 0. So if it's equal or equal to 0. Now also, because at the very beginning of the mission when we first start, these two conditions are basically met. In here in enemy, we have a mission start. So in here, we're going to add event. All that set up ready. It's going to take 2 seconds to kick in that event before it becomes active. It's set. So, might actually make it a bit longer. So this 10 seconds after the mission starts, this event gets set. So that'll make sure we got some units on the map. Well, we win. Another condition here will be that that event has to have occurred first. So that gives time for enemy to spawn on the map, this to be filled. Okay, so if all 3 of them conditions are met, we will go delay. 3 seconds, you've shot everybody at the end. Scene. Game over. Win. We'll only need to trigger once now. Copy that. And call this lose. That event will want to happen. We get rid of that one. Reinforcement. Got to happen. Is that have reinforcement score? Okay. Less. If we need 75 coin to buy at least one more group. So if we've got less than 75, we haven't got enough money to put some more units on the map. That'll be one of our conditions. And if group include one, ignore captured by user, untick that. Player O, include prop human, exclude the state, exclude the state dead equals 0. So if we fought to the last man and we've got less than 75 score left, and that first setup ready's occurred, then those three conditions are met, and we will lose. Okay, it's ready to test, I guess. Okay, quick test just proved that these progress ones also need the event setup ready added to them to prevent them from firing right at the beginning. Because when mission start, it takes 2 seconds before that gets set, so these have a chance to fire straight off the bat. So just need to add. You only discover these things by testing your stuff. So always important to test your stuff, see that it performs the way you expect, and hopefully you can find the solution without wasting half your life.